Hello, and welcome back to the Die Base. For this one, we'll be trying to salvage the Char Special Edition 3DS. Starting off, we have to remove these 4 screws on the back, then the back plate will be able to be pried back and pulled up to free it. Here we can already see the grime built up from whatever liquid damage took place in here. Here we have the battery, getting that out, and it's also predictably dirty. Now we have the next set of screws to get into the internals. Not even the SD card slot was spared. One more screw behind the game slot. Now you just have to free the clips holding it down. Make sure to be gentle while pulling the back up since there is a cable attached. With just a light tap, you can see all the rust and grime flaking out. There are quite a few screws spread about, but first let's get the circle pad undone. Lift the tab to slide the connector out, set this little IR controller board aside, and free the connector for the mic. Also free the Wi-Fi board from its socket. I'll go ahead and remove the screws holding the board down, but there's still some components that need to be taken off before it'll come up. Speaking of, the SD card slot, because of the corrosion that took place, the shield underneath came up as well, but here I am just removing the last 2 connectors from the screen and speakers. Get these last 2 screws, which once again you don't have to remove the plate for, but I digress. And with that, the board can come up. Just gotta wiggle it free and then flip the board over to get the last ribbon connector. Now that the board's free, here's a comparison to a similar board. Yikes. Now we can get to the screen, which is adhered down, so it did require a bit of prying, but it didn't put up much of a fight. We'll get the buttons and pads free, and I guess the plating on the D-pad is a sad bonus. The slider for the 3D settings is locked in place, so that's cool. It gives some leeway to pry up the screen, but my first attempt only garnered the protective layer. Heat up around the screws to loosen the adhesive holding it down. And oh boy, did they use it. It's a continuous game of heating, getting a pry tool in there, and slowly working at it. Obviously, if the 3DS was in better condition, I'd be a bit more cautious and careful, but since that's not the reality I'm in, I can be a bit loose with it. I'm sure you can tell I sped through this, but this was a process. As I got closer to freeing it though, it did start to get a little satisfying, and I didn't even break it, so I'm very pleased. Here you can see the adhesive I was referring to earlier. Looks like a bunch of snakeskin. With it now free, the front is still pretty good. The inside part, however, is definitely gonna need some cleaning. Here we have the final results. Not too shabby, I'd say. I also cleaned the back shell in case I wanted to use it too. Now I just need to get a red 3DS to put this beautiful shell on. Thanks for watching. This is Die Fixer, shutting down.